All right, hey, welcome back, and we're live here at DattoCon 2022 in Washington, D.C. I'm Jeff Johnson, president of MSP Success Magazine.
And I'm Mike Stodola, his sidekick. So, yeah.
And we've got Bruce McCully. Bruce is like the big man here at this conference, Diamond sponsor.
Oh, I thought you were indicating that, like, I had too many pizzas last night for dinner, so I'm glad we cleared that up very quickly.
Now, I mean, for many of you that are out there that have been around, Bruce is a mainstay within the TMT MSP Success community here, longtime Producers Club member. Was it 12 years, 13 years, somewhere in that range?
13 years, yeah.
That's a lot of money that you've spent with Robin and TMT.
and then spending to become Diamond sponsor at this event.
Sure.
Which I have to mention, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I'm above Threat Locker.
Oh, yeah?
I think we outspent Danny to be here.
Okay.
Or Galactic comes before Threat, but one of the two.
We'll just say you spend more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your booth has been crazy packed this whole time. Big splash that you're making here at DattoCon. Obviously, your first DattoCon because Galactic Advisors didn't exist the last time that there was a DattoCon. So just by default of that. But maybe for those that, a lot of people that are watching in on this are not here necessarily in person, so they haven't been seeing all of the splash of everything. I know you're speaking main stage here later this afternoon, right before Gary Vaynerchuk. So talk a little bit about what is Galactic Advisors and why are people so excited about checking you guys out and seeing what you guys are all about.
Yeah, so first off, I just want to say, like, the community has been so supportive, and we're just so thankful that everybody out there is so interested in what we're doing. And basically, what we go through and do is we actually provide third-party penetration tests for MSPs and their clients. And a lot of our partners use that for prospecting, and they have an 83% close rate right now. In fact, I was just on stage with one of our partners. It was kind of crazy. He got up there and he's like, I close every deal that I go to when we use your product, and they actually use Robin's marketing and all that stuff to bring leads in, and I thought it was really interesting because he said the only time I don't close it is when I don't use the product, and I have an 85% close rate. So I think he has a 100% close rate. Do you not agree? Like,
yeah.
So you're saying he only closes it, it's because of your product?
Well, I think it's because of the process, right? And I think that's a really important thing, especially when you're looking at building out ways to educate clients and prospects about risk, is not to treat it like just a one-off situation where you're just going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, there's a lot of risk here and like all the hackers are going to break in and steal all of your stuff. Instead, creating a process where you have something like Robin's marketing campaigns and a way to communicate on an ongoing basis that risks exists. And I think that our solution is just part of that conversation, especially when it comes to showing them exactly what a hacker is going to get to if somebody on their team, clicks a malicious link or does something silly.
So what do you think it is that using your report and your scan ahead of time really helps them put them over the edge and make it so clear to clients?
Yeah, well, so we'll start with prospect. So let's say that you're going and you're meeting with the prospect. One of the things that you have to do is you have to educate them on cybersecurity being something they want to invest in. A lot of us are selling advanced security stack. So if you're running an MSP right now, you have an advanced security stack that has maybe an additional investment that the client is going to make. And that's not just a money investment. Like, that can be an investment in additional operational costs. Like maybe you have to approve an application in order for them to run it or something. And so having a way to actually show them what would happen if that's not in place really educates them on why they should invest in that additional thing that you're trying to get them to do. And it works for clients too, because when you think about a client, if you're watching this, think about a client that said no to investing in your security solution. Like they're sitting there and they're like, oh, I'm not really interested in going through and actually putting the money into this additional security thing that my MSP is recommending. The reason they do that is because they don't understand their risk or they haven't thought through it. We give them that ability to see right there.
Okay, awesome.
So Bruce, one of the things you were just telling us right before this is that here at the show you're offering the ability for that you'll do a scan of the MSP's systems to be able to make sure that they're secure and do an analysis of that. What are some of the, and you've been doing this for a few years, I believe, with this. So you've got, how many different MSPs have you scanned?
Yeah, so right now we've scanned over 6,000 MSP networks. So we've not MSP client networks, not their clients, but actual MSP networks. And basically what we find is pretty incredible sometimes. I mean, when we look at MSP networks, often we find ways that attackers can move laterally, and that kind of brings up why I even got started in Galactic. You see, when I was running my MSP, a big thing that we were doing was going in and providing hospital incident response. So when a hospital's IT team would get overwhelmed, they would reach out to us and we would be the people that would come in and clean up the mess. Well, those are big events. Like, imagine 2,000 computers all infected with ransomware. The hacker's on every single device in the environment. They're able to destroy the backups. That's when they call. They don't call when everything worked out right. And what we found is that a lot of that stuff that was going on was because the people that had set it up originally, and usually it was an MSP, the people that had set it up originally had put some things in place that made it so the attacker could just move right through the network and get to every single computer. I mean, we've seen events in different timelines where hackers have gotten to MSP tools, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just configurations locally so that if the attacker gets onto a device, they're able to get to all of them. And so what I decided to do is, you know what, I'm just going to start out by helping MSPs secure their own networks. And so we are going through and doing free assessments and that's for any MSP out there that's looking and wondering if they have their stuff set up in such a way that it's going to protect their clients rather than them being the reason that the attacker gets to all of the computers.
Well, that's so huge too, because I mean, that's one of the biggest threat factors that keeps MSPs awake at night is I could lose so much equity value in my business, all these clients, if something happens. Well, we've heard of some of these before that have happened.
There's a tremendous loss in equity value because you have to, like if you're selling your MSP, you have to admit that happened on your watch, right? So there's that. There's also, you know, your errors and omissions policy, or, you know, if you're not going through and doing the right things, there's a tremendous liability around negligence. So we have that, but also there's a component of just like being able to feel good about what you're doing and knowing somebody has taken a look at that. When I was running my MSP, I spent $11,000 to have somebody come in and do a pen test on my network, and we're doing that for free for MSPs. Like, this is a tremendous value. So if it's something, you know, that folks are interested in, it's www.galacticscan.com/stack, S-T-A-C-K. And the reason we say stack is because we're going to check your security stack. So that's something that we would...
Yeah, and it's really independent third-party look at it too, is that you're not like coming from some certain angle of saying, hey, you got to buy our product and put it in your stack of where it is
absolutely.
Really that independent look.
Exactly, it's complete independent look. And the other thing is that a lot of our partners, I was mentioning how people use it for sales, but a lot of our partners are running into situations where your insurance company is requiring that you have somebody go through and analyze your clients' networks. And you can do that, like you could go and have another MSP do it, but they kind of have a little bit of a different interest because they might actually be selling something to your client then. And so we provide stress-free third-party assessments where we go in and do that for you. And I know a lot of people are out there thinking, well, I could just do that with like a scanning tool or something, and absolutely you can, but it's not third-party. You're inspecting your own work in that case. And what they're looking for, what these insurance companies are looking for, is third-party pen test or third-party vulnerability assessment, which requires a third party.
Sure. Well, Bruce, speaking of insurance companies, like you recently did a webinar that we had just hundreds and hundreds of people on, super interested, because it's kind of an alarming trend in the industry where insurance companies are going to their clients and they're actually canceling because they don't have the right compliance. And do you want to speak to that for a second?
Well, yeah, so there's a couple things going on here. So the first one is exactly what you're saying, but they're actually going to your clients. So what they'll do is mid-term, it's not just during renewal, they'll do an outside scan of your clients they're going to go through and look at all of your DNS entries. So they're going to not just like go through the ones that you want them to look at. They're going to actually dig through. They're taking a look at everything that your clients looked at, or I'm sorry, has hosted in their DNS, and then they're going to brute force all of those different devices looking for vulnerabilities, and when they find them, then they're going to contact your client, not you. They're not going to contact you. They're going to contact your client, and they're going to say, hey, we found these things. It looks like you have some security problems, which, by the way, makes you look bad as an MSP. Like, that's not a good look. And then after that, they turn around and say, the next sentence is, we have a security team that can look at this stuff for you. And guess who that security team is? It's another MSP. So just like, be very careful, guys. Make sure this is something you're looking at. One of the things that we did is we took 13 different self-assessment questionnaires, and that may not sound like many, but that's as many as there are. Like, when it comes to cyber insurance, there's not 100 of them. There's only 13 different providers right now that provide at the level that they have an SAQ. So we took 13 different cyber insurance self-assessment questionnaires, we compiled them, and then we went through and prioritized them, as in the questions, based on how often they showed up. And what that's uncovered is there's about 10 really, really high priority questions that you need to make sure that you have in place. And one of them is making sure that you're looking for vulnerabilities on the outside of your network and the inside of your network, at least on a monthly basis. So that's something that they're all looking for. Another one, and I know this is going to get some people upset on the session, another one they're looking for is, are you rotating your admin passwords? Like, this is something that a lot of folks assume is happening, but it's not happening as much as you would like if you look at the 6,000 MSPs we've analyzed. So that would be something I would definitely be thinking about if I were on this session and listening in, is, gosh, how am I going to get my administrator passwords rotated on a quarterly basis so that I can pass that questionnaire? And a key piece here is, just because you say yes on the questionnaire doesn't mean you're out of the woods. Like, you actually have to have that in place, because if you do have an event and the forensics team shows up, like when we did incident response, we had a forensics team. One of the things the insurance company will ask the forensics team is, hey, was this in place, and this in place, and this in place? Guys, they're not looking to ask just for fun. Like, they're asking because they're trying to like make it your problem and turn it into your liability. Like, yeah, you said it's there, but it's really not. That's what they're hunting for. So it's kind of a big deal.
So,
well, great. Hey, Bruce, I know you've got a drawing coming up real soon here. You're going to have a ton of traffic at the booth. I appreciate you taking a few minutes.
So what you're saying is, get off my show.
Pretty much, yes. There's a big guy named Dan Tomaszewski that's looming behind us here. That he's a lot bigger than you.
All right, fair enough.
And he's ready to get on here.
All right, I'll go get his passwords.
But hey, it's always great to chat with you, talk through all this kind of stuff. You do a great job here, and Robin will be proud that you worked in a website address, galacticscan.com/stack, to get your own MSP network analyzed there. So
thank you so much, guys.
All right, thanks, Bruce. All right, we're back live again here. We're at lunch break here at DattoCon 2022, Washington, D.C., and we've got Dan Tomaszewski here, or Dan T, or the real Dan T. Plenty of the different names there. With us here, EVP of Channel at Kaseya, and Dan, you've been a part of our roadshow events of coming around. A little bit of background, and maybe you can just, I'll let you tell it, a little bit of background of you within the TMT Robin Robbins community.
Yeah, I had the opportunity, I ran my own MSP, so I was in the Robin and the TMT program for, 3 years, 4 years?
4 years, somewhere in there.
I had the opportunity to do the Golden Cone presentations, captain accountability groups. I was watching your guys' conversations with Fred yesterday. I heard you talk about accountability group of the year twice and things like that, better your best. So really enjoyed the community, really liked participating in it, saw what it did to change my business. And it's now cool to be on this side and be able to come back into the communities and really support the marketing initiatives and really be able to give back. So I'm having the time of my life. I love being at these events, talking to folks, and love coming back to the TMT events as well.
Yeah, it's been great having you back at our events again. Now you kind of went away for a little bit and then doing some other stuff and being able to have you come back.
Yeah, it's been cool, and I think we've been doing a lot with your road shows recently in terms of introducing the new MDF program, and that's been going over really well. And being able to come back now and say, hey, let Kaseya help you spend more in marketing and help you drive new initiatives. So really have been enjoying that conversation with all the members.
Well, the big thing on that too is that it's a win-win of where you guys make more as MSP partners grow. So you give them the resources to be able to grow the business, add new customers.
Yeah,
you're going to gain that back.
And it's important when you look at it from a vendor perspective, a lot of people will focus on just giving you like product-specific stuff. And we really want to look at it as we know if we can help you sell and market your entire solution, that our products and services are going to come along with it. So let's look at other initiatives, other ways people can get out there and market, and that's really one of the big reasons why we're partnering up and trying to launch that MDF program at the road shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fred announced yesterday that you guys are doubling down on MDF there for the coming future, doubling the investment into that program. If there's a MSP who hasn't worked with you guys to get MDF or that, like how do they go about that? Like what's the process they should be looking at?
Yeah, so we actually just simplified the process to get MDF. They simply can work with their account manager.
Okay.
But here's the thing. We just don't want to, throw money out there and not have it. We want to work with you. So let's look at what's the ROI. What are you looking to get out of this event? What are you trying to target? Well, how can we help you? Let's go through a checklist. Let's make sure that we've got all the right things. Let's make sure you got content. Let's make sure you're marketing it so it's a successful event for you. But you simply work with your account manager. Once you've got your account manager, they're going to submit the form, give us less than a week, and we'll have that approval process already done and let you know what's going on.
Awesome. And what are some of the events, like what should people be considering for MDF? Like a lot of people don't even know what they do. Is it a mailing campaign? Is it for a new website, or is it for a webinar, for a live event?
Yeah, webinars are a big one. Live events, we see a lot of people leveraging like the lunch and learns.
Okay.
And we've had people do crawfish boils. We've had people do cookouts, different things. It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. What's the goal in mind? How are you working with it? We just want to understand, like, maybe it's a trade show. Maybe you want to go host an event.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of different, and we have people coming to us with ideas I've never heard of before.
Okay.
And we just have to have a conversation and understand it. And a lot of times we're approving that too. So I think you can do the normal basic stuff or get creative, and let's look at a new way of potentially hosting an event or doing something.
Awesome.
Well, some people know the story is that we tried to recruit you when you were leaving your MSP before with that, and you turned us down. It seemed to turn out pretty well with you here, and talk a little bit about your new role here with Kaseya and Datto here as EVP of the channel.
Yeah, so I politely turned you down, but I've always been involved. Look, for me, I've always been about the MSP. How can we make having been one, I understand the challenges that go through day in and day out. I understand the struggles, the commitment with time. I mean, all of those things of trying to grow a successful business. In the role now, I'm looking at how do we continue to develop really good programs that our customers and partners can go out and leverage to grow their business. And the Datto Global Partner Program rolling out now to all of our Kaseya customers, that's phase one. We're going to be enhancing that in early 2023 as our systems are integrated more. We're going to be able to really go out there and continue to enhance it. So for me, my role is to get out there at community events. You'll see me at industry events. You'll see us at different shows that we're able to go out to. I want to connect with the MSPs. I want to hear what's going on, sit down, understand things so that we continue to be working with our customers to make sure that they can see success.
Well, and I think the biggest thing that I've heard too from our members, from other MSPs that are talking with you is that you get it. You've been one of them. You just mentioned that here, is that you've been one of them, and if they have struggles, whether it's in growing their business and figuring things out, you know how to find the resources, but if they have struggles with something, Fred mentioned it yesterday, is that we're going to screw up, that we're going to make mistakes on it, and they've got someone as a voice of being able to go to you here, you and your team, that'll actually listen.
Yeah, and Fred has been phenomenal in supporting us and getting us the budget to expand this team. It's over 50 some odd people now that are sitting on our MSP enablement team. So look, yes, mistakes are going to happen. There might be a communication that's dropped. If you're on a Facebook group or something and something's happening, we'll be in there. We'll tag it, we'll get out there, we'll work with you. Maybe you just want to reach out direct. We'll work with you and go through any issues or challenges you may have. But also, don't look at us just for issues and challenges. How can we help you?
Yeah.
What are the things, what do you think we can do? Like maybe it's an event, or you just want to talk strategy, or leverage our team for those things too, because that's really where the partnership comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of the things you're most excited about that are coming down the tube?
I'm really excited. The IT Complete, it's really cool to see it. I get the opportunity to do pulse checks with all the executive team where we sit down with customers and hearing how the workflow integrations are changing their business, hearing how it's driving efficiencies. I'm excited now to have Datto in that mix, having been a Datto partner when I was an MSP and to be on this side or attending DattoCons as an MSP and now being on this side. I'm excited for what we're going to be able to do together. And I think that's really one of the cool things for me is just the opportunities that are there for those partners today. And I'm looking forward to seeing it all come together in IT Complete.
Well, that's great. Well, you talked about DattoCon, so you obviously went to DattoCons as an MSP before. How's it changed from then to now?
I think they've always done a really good job of keeping this MSP focused. The content, when I say that is like you can come in here if you're a salesperson, there's tracks for you to go down. If you want to go down the technical, there's those. The peer forums for folks to come in and have roundtable discussions. They've kept it consistent, and it's because the MSPs have been asking for it. And I think this is an event that is driven off of MSP feedback, and it continues to do that. And I think that's the part that's cool, is it's evolving, but it's evolving with the feedback from the MSPs, so it's still impactful for them.
Very cool.
Yeah, so one thing, and I know you got to get running here in just a moment here, but one thing that you've been doing with our road shows and even with ongoing with us here and rolling out the MDFs is forming a partnership. One of the first people that you reached out to, I know, was Robin, when you got this MDF program really rolling, and you've been announcing at each of our road shows of being able to bring $20,000 of MDF funds specific for TMT products or new products and services to be able to get those in the hands. Just talk just a little bit about that and that strategy here.
Yeah, so one of the big strategies is to have our MDF program, but then also create partnerships where we can do even more. So someone that's going to leverage it in the TMT Roadshow, they're still going to be able to go through and access it for an event later on. But right now what we're trying to do is really go in and say, hey, look at a marketing initiative that you haven't started but you really wanted to. Let us put some dollars and get you going. Let's put some dollars towards that. And I've had really good feedback from the road shows. I've had people that have wrote me emails, letters, texts, and saying like they've used it. They're starting on a new initiative. Awesome. They're excited. And I think that's what it's all about right now, is how can we help you get started on something that maybe you've been holding off on? Let's get some funds to get you started, maybe get to that first month or so, and get things going in the right direction, and then expand it. And then have a bigger conversation. Let us do an event with you or do other things. So it's going over really well, and we're really excited that I was able to come back to Robin.
Yeah, and I think with that, I haven't shared this with you yet. I got to get you back over the numbers. Is that over $10,000 was used last week in Chicago just on our digital marketing audit. So those that are looking to get more out of their digital marketing in their MSP business, and we offered that as a service, they were able to apply
That's great.
cumulatively over $10,000 of MDF funds towards that, of being able to get that analysis, get it figured out of what's the best strategy for my business. And they were hugely appreciative of that, of being able to allow them to do that, to be able to take advantage of it. So.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, look, anybody that knows me, I'm very genuine. I'm very transparent. I'm straightforward, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity to continue to, come into the TMT community, to expand these programs that we have with MDF and other MSP enablement. I just really want people to know that I'm here for them, and I'm glad to hear that people are taking advantage of it, and we're able to help MSPs grow their business.
Awesome.
Well, Dan, in wrapping it up, do you want to give out your personal cell phone number so they can just call?
Jeff, what's your number? No.
Dan, thanks for hanging out with us, spending time. I know you're super busy
Appreciate it.
here at DattoCon, but stopping by and just being able to
thanks
chat
for a great
with everyone.
show.
Appreciate you
All right,
guys. Thank
thanks,
you all.
Dan. All right, we're back here at DattoCon 2022 here in Washington, D.C., and thrilled to have a new TMT member, Melvin Chatman, here with us. How you doing, Melvin?
I am good, sir. Thank
All right. I was mentioning with this sharpest dressed other than Fred Vicola here, he had the three-piece, so he was beating you with the three-piece.
It's just quantity, it's not quality.
Well, I
It's
opted
got
out of
sharp.
the vest today.
There you go.
Yeah.
But looking sharp, and I understand your first DattoCon.
Yes, sir. First DattoCon.
Yeah, what's your impression so far?
It's impressive. I mean, we had the National Stadium last night. It was very, very impressive. The vendors here are awesome. The keynote was very, very well-spoken and very informative.
Awesome. So you attended Rapid Implementation Workshop recently
Yes,
here.
sir.
So what was that like for us?
It was like a fire hose. And it was a lot of information, and it was a lot of information very fast. But it was stuff that was so obvious that we weren't doing.
Okay.
So I'm excited to implement the stuff we learned from Rapid so we can grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know with the Rapid Implementation Workshop, you brought a salesperson with you to that. Did you bring anyone here to DattoCon as well?
No, sir. Just me.
All on your own,
Yes,
huh?
sir.
Someone's got to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was your strategy of becoming a DattoCon? Like, what were you looking to get out of the event coming in?
Well, there were a few vendors I've been looking at for quite a few months, and being able to speak to them in person helps to get more information about what
Sure.
they're selling and what we need. And there were two specific ones. I don't know if I can mention who they are. It doesn't matter. But two specific ones we got a lot of good information from. So we can.
Well, you can say that.
Yes. Yes.
And that's one of the things we keep hearing from people who attend the show is that one of the most important things you can do are build those relationships with your account reps, see them, so that when you need help, you need an idea, you're just looking for something else, you've created those relationships. So that's awesome that you went out and have done that. So what else? You mentioned the keynotes also. Did you get to any of the forums?
Yes, I went to an insurance forum just a little while ago before this, and another vendor's forum I went to this morning as well. So I learned stuff I didn't know before I got here, which is the whole point of the conference.
And you made it to the morning sessions even after last night's party.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good for you. So that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your MSP. How long have you been in business? Where are you out of?
So I I own an MSP out in Las Vegas. We've been around since 1983, and we turned into an MSP in 2005, and BCT was created in 2010.
Okay.
And we manage about 1,500 endpoints. We have roughly 30 clients. We have the majority of our base in Las Vegas, but we do have a couple in California and Northern Nevada.
Awesome.
All right. So with DattoCon here, in those keynotes, and specifically of just looking at this, of coming in with the Datto and Kaseya acquisition of Datto, anything in particular that impressed upon you, or that you were looking for, and maybe that came out of that?
Sure. Fred did mention about 15% price decreases, which was very good to know. Anybody that's in a current agreement now, they're not going to change that agreement. So that was good news to hear. And I think a lot of people are happy to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Of just keeping things status quo, or even
Yes.
Decreasing is pretty awesome when you've got new stuff that's coming in.
Yes.
There as well.
So Melvin, where are you seeing in your guys' business here moving forward? What are the biggest opportunities for you, the things you're really focused on?
Well, we run a program called Skill Bridge, and what we do is we take military members that are transitioning from the service to civilian life, and we train them. And we give them IT training and give them some type of skills and help them integrate with the civilian workforce, because it's a very big change, because I had to go through it myself.
Okay.
And I was a veteran too, so.
Oh, well, thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your support. That's something I'm really passionate about. And obviously we do serve our community with our MSP, but to give back to the veterans and the active duty members is a very, very big deal to me.
So how'd that come about? So obviously you had that experience, but then, a lot of people have that experience, but you took it not just to the next level, but like 5 rungs up the ladder.
Yes. So I had some trouble myself transitioning, and I figured, why not give back and help these guys that have nobody? Because you go out into the workforce, you might not be working with other veterans. You might be working with just civilians, and they're not going to know how to help you integrate with them, and they're not used to hearing sir and ma'am and all that other stuff we do in the military time, of course.
That's awesome. So now with this, are they getting the skills to become like techs, or what's
Yes.
that look like?
It's specifically IT.
Okay.
And a lot of the guys that are applying, you don't have to have skills or any experience in IT. We take you from nothing and give you at least something to make you a level 1 engineer.
Okay.
And that way, when you go to get a job, if I don't offer you one, you've got something to put on your resume.
That's so cool, because obviously this industry, there's a huge labor shortage and a need for, people at every level, but you're not only helping fulfill on that, but also giving these guys a career path that could be very lucrative.
Yes.
Obviously, we all know the opportunities down the road. This is not going anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So is this a program that you started, or is it one that you support, or how did that? How does that work?
We're a partner with the Department of Defense.
Okay.
And we just applied. We set out a training curriculum, so they know exactly what they're going to be trained on, and we rolled with it.
If someone's on here, is there a way, if they know someone that's a veteran there that wanted to get involved in this, or is there a way for them to go? Is there a website they go to, or
Yes.
how do they get connected with that?
I can't think of the exact website, but if you Google DoD Skill Bridge,
Okay.
you'll find the website, and then you'll find all the programs across the United States that you can apply for. Because it's not just IT.
Okay.
It's any career.
Excellent.
So DoD, so Department of Defense,
Yes, sir.
Skill Bridge.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, very cool. Now, is your program called anything in particular, or like?
No, sir.
Okay, so you just created the curriculum for them, doing that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, excellent.
So-
Well, this is really cool. With it, I appreciate you, Melvin, of hanging out with us for a little
Yes, sir.
bit here
Thank
at
you.
DattoCon. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and looking forward to seeing you at boot camp coming up next
Yes,
year
sir.
as well.
Well, we'll be at the.
You'll be on the road show probably
at
as
the
well
road
in
show.
I was gonna
Vegas.
say.
Yeah.
We're coming to you.
Okay, so we'll see you then.
All right.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Melvin.
Thanks,
Thanks so
Melvin.
much for being on.
All right.
All right, we're back here at lunch break here at DattoCon 2022. Going great here at the conference, and we're pleased to welcome Kelvin Daniels
Yep.
here,
Nice to meet you
MSP.
guys.
Maybe, Kelvin, tell a little bit about yourself and your MSP business.
Yeah, so Extona is a full-service managed services company. We take a very interesting approach into business. We focus on continuity as a mainstay, which is a great piece with Datto. We also really focus on the compliance and the overall capabilities of a company to be able to continue to grow and effectively do their job. So if we don't take that approach in, who's going to? They don't have the resources, they don't have the internal manpower, they don't have the internal understanding of what they actually need. So we actually help them find what they need so that they can continue to grow and do what they do. They're accountants, their job is to do accounting. Their job is not to be a managed services provider. Their job is not, if they're teachers, their job is to teach. Their job isn't to try to figure out what's in trying to infiltrate their network. I mean, we take our job very seriously to be connected as a partner with these companies.
Yeah, so you've been a client of Datto's for 11 years, but first DattoCon.
Yes.
What brought you to DattoCon here this year?
I finally didn't have to coach a premier soccer team in September. So I was a coach for years, and the first year I was supposed to come was in 2019, and then my daughter was playing collegiate soccer, and I was on that path, and then COVID hit, and so now I'm out of that commitment that I've had in the Septembers, and I'm able to be here.
All right, awesome.
So what do you think this year?
It's excellent. I mean, it's having not attended one in person before. I've been to the virtual events. I was a panelist with Datto 2 years ago when they had the event that was right during 2020 as to talk about how we, basically our sales approach with Datto. So I'm very familiar with everything that happens. Just haven't been here in person.
Yeah. So how's this different from other events that you've attended? Like
IT Nation and different stuff like that. Yeah, it's different because it's really focused on. I really feel like they can focus on us as a Datto partner, and as a continuity type of basically a continuity solution around everything that's surrounded with us. And now with the announcement of the full IT complete look and a lot of the other things that they're doing, it really looks like they're trying to focus more on us as a true MSP. Really, how can we help our customers, and how can we make more, and how can the customers get better, and how can we all partner together to make everybody more successful?
Okay, very good.
So coming into this, what have been the sessions that you've focused on going to, attending as you've been here the last few days?
I'm kind of a cybersecurity nerd, so I really want to understand how much badder the bad guys get. So I've been looking a lot at a lot of those sessions, and then some of the sessions that are like I'm going to be going to one this afternoon on Rocket Cyber for SOC. And looking at Datto's new EDR solution that they're launching, because we have a stack that lines up against a lot of the things that we use are in this room that aren't covered on the little blue carpet behind me. So now I'm here doing the comparative look at what's Datto, what can we use from Datto, what can we use from Kaseya to flush out that stack, to bring it underneath that single pane of glass, a true IT complete look of what we're looking to do.
Yeah, what's the biggest thing when you talk about the IT complete and those integrations and that overall stack? What's the most appealing for you? Like, why is it of looking for you of how do I expand this to other tools here? How's that going to impact your business?
Well, it's kind of interesting because right now, I mean, for example, if you're a mature MSP, you're going to have everything that you really need to do a job properly. And everybody that's in the business, that's survived in the business and grown in the business knows what they are. And so you're going to have the antivirus. You're going to have the continuity solutions. You're going to have the SOC. You're going to have all of the parts and pieces. The RMM tools and the just everything across the board. I mean, you have to have all of that in order to be able to service your customers. You just have to. So when I start looking at how everything compares in the stack, there's certain things that we do today that are not Datto or Kaseya products. And the thing I have to look at is are they at the same level, or is there a small enough separation where it makes sense? Because instead of having that additional payment go over to this company versus be here where we can have it on one bill.
Yeah.
If we're looking for support on that product, we're calling into one support number versus multiple support numbers. I mean, when you start looking at the overall ability anything, even updates, I mean, you name it. I mean, it's all of these different things that really kind of tie together to get this full picture. And if we can combine the things from Datto and from Kaseya, the Kaseya family with IT Complete into one solution, man, I mean, that's just lights out. That's what we can do. So it'd be great.
Very cool.
That's what it looks like.
I mean, yesterday you talked a lot about you're having to do more with less. So that's really what you're talking about, is building in those efficiencies, making your techs, everybody on your team more productive with that, without having multiple logins, multiple systems that they all gotta talk to each other and you gotta get into and everything there. So that's interesting. So what are some of the things you see coming down the line as an MSP?
I think you're going to see, more, and it's been building for years and years and years. I mean, you see more and more threats that are coming against your customers, and if you don't have the proper solutions in place to protect them, you're not going to be in business long. You know, you're gonna keep having these problems that you see people have. And if you don't invest in your infrastructure, you can't possibly ask a customer to do the same thing. It's like, oh, please give me lots of money so that I can do a medium to less than medium, mediocre job for you, but don't worry, your stuff's mostly safe. I mean, nobody's saying that, but that's what a lot of these companies are doing.
Yeah.
Their actions show exactly what kind of company they are. You know, hey, that's great. You guys call in for support tickets. We love it. We'll get to you in 1 to 2 days because we're inefficient and we don't have the proper type of staff on board. But hey, we really want to be your MSP. That's not how it goes. So we have to be able to provide a level of professionalism in our industry. And I think that unfortunately, or fortunately for me, because I get to compete against unprofessional companies. So I really like that. But for the ones that I respect and the ones that I've seen grow and do a good job, they're professional companies, and I've had a chance to sit down and meet with some really good people here over this week, and seeing some of the more professional companies. We're all in the same mind frame of we want to have our technicians be less stressed. We want to be able to give them the proper tools so they can be more efficient, so they can do more with less, so they can having the SOC controls that will literally go in and create the ticket so that we get to be proactive instead of reactive to certain situations. I mean, it's all about being the type of company that customers can trust on, and that you can keep your word to your customers. When we say it's going to be okay, we're going to take care of you, and have them feel that, and not only feel it but know it.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
Okay, very cool. Well, I know that we got the show going on. We're at lunch that's coming up here. We appreciate you taking your time out today to come sit with us for a few minutes here, Kevin.
All right, yeah, I really appreciate it. I appreciate being asked, and I'm just really excited to have an opportunity to share a little bit about our love affair with Datto, and now seeing that Kaseya has grabbed and really brought them into the fold of what the Kaseya family looks like. And now we get to flirt with Kaseya too, so it's good.
That's awesome.
All right,
well, awesome.
Guys.
Thank you so much, Kelvin.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.